Hello, my name's Rob and welcome to Swift Slots. And welcome to this week's Swift Slots mail call. So this is a summary of the items that I've had delivered to me in the post this week for viewing on this channel or for making in later projects. So let's get you on the bench and show you them one by one. Okay, so what did I get in my mailbox this week? Well, first off, I got this beautiful BMW M3 from Fly. Now, there's a little bit of a story behind this Fly. When I first started collecting Fly cars in the 90s, I think it was the 90s, I had about 75 of these Fly cars before I stopped collecting because it all got a little bit silly. But if I recall correctly, the very last car that I never actually bought but was ready to buy but didn't was one of these BMW M3 Flies. I absolutely loved the paint job, absolutely love checkers. I really like checkers on a car, and this had the checkers in blue and white, is also my favourite colours on a race car as well. And this car was absolutely stunning at the time, and I just never bought it. I never ever got round to actually buying one. I've always admired them. I went to the Gaydon show a few times and I've seen a couple there and they were very pretty. I was tempted, but for some reason still never bought it. And then again, late night, Facebook Marketplace, this turned up. £40, or at least I did a deal for £40, and I was very happy with that. Now I know the shortcomings of Fly cars. I'm not silly. I'm very well aware that Fly cars are not known for their performance, and I put this on the track and it sure doesn't disappoint. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But what's more terrible is what happened when it was sent to me. Now I told the guy, when you send it to me, please make sure that you wrap it really well, including the wrapping the car to the base, because I have a habit of breaking out on the base, or even the screw breaking the chassis away, and so on. And he said, yeah, no problem, I'll pack it really well for you. So that was that. And he did sort of pack it sort of well. The outer box was fantastic, and he did indeed put a little bit of foam or bubble wrap on the inside of the box. And the car was loose inside the box, so it wouldn't break out the screw. Now the problem was, he didn't actually secure the car inside the case, although the case had a bit of bubble wrap. So what happened was, the wing got snapped off. So we got one little stud in there and one hole in there. And it's pretty damned annoying, but it's not the end of the world. I can always glue it back on. But it is quite disappointing when people can't be bothered to use a little bit of common sense when they send stuff in the post. And I'm sure some people think that once they've taken your money, they've absolved themselves of all responsibility. And I guess in some cases that is the case, but it's just a bit disappointing. I mean, the car's fine. It runs like a complete heap of crap, but it does run and it is brand spanking new. I cannot see any marks that it's ever been used. So there we are. But one amusing feature of this car, after 3.5 laps of going around the track, hang on, it's not going to do it now, is it? There we are. After 3.5 laps going around Crow Valley, the wheel worked its way off and then overtook the car down the main straight. And it did it multiple times, as well as sounding like a complete heap of rubbish. But, you know, I knew what I was getting myself in for. I knew that it would do that. And that's fine. So this car, at some point, I don't know when, will be getting a complete overhaul. It'll have probably Staff's wheels with these wheels inserted in as usual, and it'll have a certain amount of work done to it. I don't know quite how much. I don't think it's going to be a full-on going to town modification, because I would quite like to keep all the detail inside, and, you know, I don't really like the fact that it's got the motor up front because it's terrible for weight distribution. But I don't really want to load the back up with lead either. So, I don't know. It'll get a little bit of a tickle. It'll get a little bit of an improvement. But how much, I'm not quite sure. But it's still a beautiful car. I'm really pleased I've got it. Even with its shortcomings and a little bit of damage in the post, it is what it is. Everything else is mint about it. And it's a really nice car. Okay, so moving on from one car with problems to another car with problems. Now, my Ferrari build that I did a few videos back was a really good success. It didn't take me too long to create the model or make the video, and I got a lot of subscribers on the back of that video, and a lot of people left comments, and a lot of people seemed to really enjoy the way that that car went and came out, and I did as well. I really enjoyed doing that car. There's something nice about not having to expend huge amounts of time and effort and everything else. There's something nice about just getting a job done and having it work nicely. And I really enjoyed that process. So I decided that I'm going to do another one, that being this Lamborghini. Now I've already got the Jaguar XJ220 in the pipeline ready to do, although that's going to be more about doing a paint job than anything else. But this one I thought I could do the same as the Ferrari. So my intention with this car is to do a little bit of upgrading to it, the same as the Ferrari, but also do one major change to it. And that is, this is a clamshell style body where this lower sill and a front bumper and rear bumper are actually part of the chassis, not the body. So what I intend to do is actually cut the chassis out of this car and glue what's left back to the body to turn it into a standard body and turn the chassis into a standard chassis. Then I'm going to move on to doing some other subtle changes. One of those is replacing these wheels, which just simply fall off. There's absolutely nothing stopping these wheels at all. I'll come back to the wheels that I have a plan for in a moment. But the other thing that I wanted to do was buy an original black wing for this car. Now this particular yellow Scalextric car never came with a wing. This is a road going version, but I think it would look cool with a wing. Now I did see a picture of a real life Lamborghini, blacked out wheels, blacked out wing. The blacked out details it's already got. What I liked about this car was the smoked windows and the black and the yellow. Blacked out wheels would look really cool, and the black spoiler. Like I say, this came like this so we couldn't get them. So I went on to the retailer and I acquired, I couldn't work out what ones I wanted. I acquired 3 packets of body details. And I thought, oh, there'll be something in amongst all that lot that will be perfect. And I believe there is. I think this wing on the back would look really smart from the slotted pack. But then there are other ones as well. And I already had this one in stock. Now, obviously, it won't be this colour. It'll be painted black. And I think by the time I've chopped down these little legs and put it into the back there, I think the width of that spoiler is just about perfect. And also the little bit of detail kind of swoop it down the sides and add a little bit of interest. So, yeah, there'll be upgraded wheels, upgraded bearings, and a little bit of upgraded running gear. And then the whole chassis will be cut out, glued to the body, and this will become a standard chassis, upgraded guide, and then we'll put a coat of lacquer over the top of it, exactly the same as the Ferrari. Black rear wing, new wing mirrors, probably have to hand make those, or there might be something in these packs. I think there probably are. And a change of wheels as well with some decent tyres. And hopefully this car will be as good as the red Ferrari that I did, only this will be a yellow Lamborghini. Okay, so one of my most favourite cars of all time is the Viper GTS Coupe with the twin white stripes. I absolutely love this car. I've loved it since the moment it first came out in the 90s, I think it was, or whenever it came out. I just thought it was a stunning car. I've had various models of it through the time, and now I've got my chance to get, or I've had my chance to buy, this 25th scale model kit of a Viper. Now, why I went for this one is because obviously I'm going to turn it into a slot car, but it's the road going version. And I found in slot cars there are very few options where the actual road going version is available as a slot car. The road going version is much nicer in my opinion. It's got more of a shape to it and all the rest of it. Racing cars tend to be slammed to the floor and all the rest of it, and they've got all the body kits on them, and they just lose that original look of the road going Viper. And there's no real substitute, I don't think, for a road going version. A racing version isn't quite the same. It just doesn't have that same look about it as the original Viper did. So this kit has turned up. As you can see, the box is a bit battered. I didn't pay very much for it at all. I only paid £20 for it. I don't think that was a particularly bad price, but you know, it's quite a hard kit to get, I believe, in the road going version. And this one is all complete. I've actually cut open the packets, and it's all complete and all looking very pretty. And you can see there it all is there, all in it, all its bits. There's probably no point in going through it all, but like I say, as with all my plastic kits, I'm going to be building it up as a model kit, and then it will be turned into a slot car, so we can run it around the track and have some fun with it. And it comes with all these wheels and tyres, as they always do, obviously. All nice detail, so they'll be changed into PU rubber as well. It's also got the really nice set of standard wheels, the lovely 5-spoke chrome wheels in there. They'll look nice. Front and rear glass. No side glass, weirdly, but I can always make side glass. The actual picture on the box of the the model car, as we can see just here, that appears not to have the glass either. So I guess that's right. And there's no mention of it in the instructions either, so it is what it is. So, yeah, really nice Dodge Viper GTS Coupe. Okay, so here we go. You may have seen the short that I did on this Pro Slot Ferrari 355, asking people, did they have one? I was looking to buy one. Well, nothing came of that short. I didn't actually manage to buy one through that short. Didn't really get a lot of comments on it either particularly. But I went shopping on eBay and I found this Ferrari 355 from a guy called Max. Now, Max has an eBay sales page, obviously. He also has a slot forum handle as well. I've put the links in this picture here for you to see. Now, I've conversed with Max on and off through the slot forum over the years, and it's never really resulted in a purchase for one reason or another until this particular yellow car turned up on eBay when I was looking for a 355. And you know, it's okay, it looked quite nice and so on and so forth. It needs a lot of work doing to it, I personally think, to sort of make it look a bit spliffier, because I'm not hugely keen on the paintwork here, but you know, it is what it is. And I looked at the specifications and he'd sort of tickled it and made it into a reasonably competitive car and so on and so forth. And it was open to offers, and I kind of offered him some money for it, and we did an agreement and we took the money. And that was pretty cool. So he sent me this yellow car. He also said, tell you what, Rob, I'll give you some extras as well. So he's given me this rather sorry for itself Ferrari 355 that needs a lot of love. It's got the driver in there as well, and there's the rear wing in it too. The chassis is all there. In fact, there's the rear wing there. The chassis is all there. The gap axles are all there, the wheels and tyres are all there. All it needs is the body closing back up again and repairing from the inside. And then obviously a new glass making, a thorough paint strip, and then a really nice paint job on it. And I think I can bring this car back from the dead. So we got all the driver and the spoiler there and everything else. So that was a really nice gesture of Max. So, and also the other thing that I got from eBay at the time, which is the main reason actually why I got hold of him on eBay, were these tyres. Now, these wheels and tyres, sorry. So we got a full set of Pro Slot wheels and tyres that came from a Ferrari, in fact. So there's a full set of 4 there, and I got those for an extremely reasonable price from Max. He does really good prices on his stuff on eBay. And then I also got, because I wasn't quite sure what wheels I wanted, I bought both of them as well, these very nice Fly 5-spoke wheels from the Venturi. So you got these as well. There's a full set of 4 of those as well. There we are. So I couldn't work out what wheels to buy. So these wheels were actually going to be for the Lamborghini. So with these silly wheels that fall off, I wanted to put these wheels on it with different sized tyres, obviously. So you're going to have blacked out wheels and a blacked out spoiler. We're going to have the dark glass and so on and so forth with a nice new coat of lacquer and so on and so forth. So I think these, with the decent sized tyres, and these arches are not the right shape. I'm going to change the arches to make them the correct shape. We're going to get the thing sat down in its proper stance with some decent sized tyres and all the rest of it, and make this car look pretty wicked. But that's why I contacted Max, because I caught an eye on these wheels. So what's probably going to happen now, these wheels are definitely going on the Lamborghini. This car is going to stay exactly as it is, although we're going to give it a full paint job and then clean up the wheels, probably repaint them white. And this is going in red. And this car here, as I alluded to earlier on, I love checkers on a car. I think the checkers are great, and I'm wondering now whether I should repair this body and repaint it in checkers in some form or another. I'm not quite sure how to do it. Not like this with just a line straight through it, but more of a sort of an ornate kind of flag style, quite an impressive, maybe even blue and white. I'm not quite sure. Do it on that, and then I'm going to put these wheels, I believe, on it as well. So there's quite a few projects to be getting on with just in these 2 cars here alone, and then the tyres can go for the Lamborghini. So there's those cars that I've had from Max. If you fancy buying any little bits and bobs, Max is a local racer from the UK, and selling the little spares and bits and bobs helps him support his racing. So if you fancy buying some spares at a reasonable price, see Max on the slot forum or look on his eBay page, and you might be able to pick up some really nice cars from him like I have done here. Now actually, a quick disclosure, when I got this car, I just put it on the track just to see what it would do, and I wasn't expecting anything great. The back tyres are a little bit on the hard side, so I scuffed them up on a bit of sandpaper, the old way, just by rubbing the tyres on a bit of track there, just to sort of scuff them up a bit of sandpaper, and then I cleaned them off with a bit of tape just to get some sort of contact. And to my utter amazement, this car did a 50.5 around Crow Valley, and it was absolutely solid. It's an amazing running car. So he's put some aluminium gears in there, and when I was first looking at the car, it did actually have a slotted motor in there, and I said I don't need the slotted motor, so he put a Skeletrix one in for me. And the only reason this car didn't do a sub 50-second lap is because that motor isn't fast enough. I was giving it full power in quite a lot of areas on Crow Valley where I don't normally need to give full power, but this car handled unbelievably well. I couldn't believe how well this car handled, and I say it was a 50.5 I managed to get, so it was just outside the sub 50 seconds. All I'd need to do to get a faster time, change the motor for something a little bit quicker, or change the tyres for something even stickier. These tyres actually didn't turn out too bad in the end, but slightly stickier tyres, or better still, a slightly faster motor than this standard Skeletrix motor, and this is a sub 50-second car straight out the box, which is unbelievable. So what we'll be doing with this one, full respray into red, tidy up the wheels, and then just put a faster motor in it, possibly some NSRs on the back, and leave it at that. And that is a beautiful car to drive. It really does go extremely well. And this one will probably get the full works. I'm thinking of putting a complete a slotted pod in here, alloy wheels, let's say a full paint job, really nice motor, obviously a better guide, it hasn't got one now, but a guide, lightweight interior, lightweight glass, repair all the damage, full respray, and I think I could turn this into a bit of a beast, and this will be a really good resto mod, I think. So there we are, that's what's turned up in my mailbox this week. So there it is, all the little things that I've had delivered in the post this week for projects in the future. So if you've enjoyed this sort of content, maybe you'll subscribe, and if you could hit the little bell button, that would be awesome. So until the next time, thank you very much.